What up? This is Rama Screen, and in the anticipation of the Get Together, which arrives on demand May 14th, I'm here talking with the director of this new film, Will Bakke. How you doing, Will?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Good, good, good. I understand that you wrote the script with your collaborator, Michael B. Allen, and it's based on your previous short film. So tell me the evolution of that. How did you build on or expand on the short film into the feature-length movie that we now see?
Yeah, so the idea originally was, we wanted to capture what it felt like to be at just a house party with a bunch of 20 somethings. And years ago, we were pretty influenced by the film Birdman and just these long takes that, Inarritu was working on. And we thought, man, it'd be really fun to just have a long take short film and just see what it feels like. And so we made a 10-minute short called The Get Together that was really following just a guy at a party who desperately doesn't want to be there, and he meets a girl, and the two kind of get out alive together. And from that, we really got the feeling of what we were hoping for, which was like this hangout film, and just the nostalgia kind of washing over of running into a bunch of different characters and friends and people trying to work out their 20s and what that's going to be. So we took that idea and wrote a brand new script. It's not based on the short, but we took a lot of the camera techniques from it and applied it to this story.
Did you apply the one long take thing? Uh,
Yeah, so we have several long takes in the movie. The movie is actually broken up into 3 chapters that all have to do with different party goers, all ending up at the same place. And so there's some long takes that are used for story purposes to kind of help remind you where we were in the previous chapter, and just kind of help people get settled in.
yes, thank you for bringing that up. So it is kind of divided into several focal points or several segments focusing on each of the key characters, and then the segments kind of collide or cross paths. So what was the challenges of filming that in terms of continuity and all that stuff?
Yeah, it was pretty wild. We drew up the house that we were going to be shooting at on a map, and we kind of mapped out everyone's trajectories, and we had several maps with colored dots to like kind of figure out where everyone was going and make sure nobody was bumping into each other. It was a weird process because you write the script with one idea in mind of how it's going to go, and then when you find your location, all the rooms are totally different than maybe what you imagined, and how people are going to interact and move about the party changes. So you have to kind of adapt, the script to fit in reality.
Did you take some influence or inspiration from other party movies of the past? Obviously, your characters are not wearing togas, but what were some of the things that you wanted to do differently in terms of this specific genre?
Yeah, I was heavily inspired by Richard Linklater's Dazed and Confused. I
Ah,
loved that movie because it's a lot of high school kids just trying to figure out the next 4 years or just figure out their lives. And I wanted to make a movie that felt like a hangout in that same vein. And so this movie is not like a Project X or an Animal House where there's just like insanity and people ziplining off roofs, but it should feel a lot more like, man, I know all these people here. I know what they're all going through, and I can relate to it. And yeah, it's a really enjoyable time.
let's talk about the cast. Wonderful cast ensemble: Jacob, Johanna, Courtney, Alejandro. Did they come to you through connections or did they have to audition for these roles? How did you round up these wonderful talents?
Yeah, so Alejandro, who's also known as Shaky Graves, he's a musician from Austin. Definitely embodies sort of the Austin, Texas spirit. And we reached out to him, and he took a look at the script, and we hopped on a Zoom with him, and he auditioned for the role. And man, he just kind of embodied it. It's pretty easy for Alejandro to come off as a really cool musician. And in the movie, he's kind of a failing musician, but that confidence never lets up. So he was just like such a great natural fit for it. And then Courtney Parchman, who plays August, this was her first feature film, and she was so fun and so hilarious to watch. She auditioned, and we immediately, had her play the role of August. And then Johanna and I actually made a movie a couple years back called Believe Me together. So we met each other through that project. And then Jacob Artis is the last one on. He, comes from Glee and is one of the nicest, coolest guys to be around. I like really enjoyed working with him, and he, yeah, he was fantastic as the role of Damien.
the no swimming in the pool rule. It was funny. I mean, was that your idea or Michael's? And did everybody, including the cast and crew, jump in the pool when filming finally wrapped?
We I can't remember whose idea that was. We definitely know what it's like to throw a house party, and you've always got that one roommate who's just so anal about what everyone's doing and who's walking in with shoes on and who's not, and if people are leaving, beer cans or cigarettes places, and so we loved writing this character that was like so above and beyond anal retentive as to like people that were destroying the house. And one of his big rules was don't jump in the pool because he was afraid of mud getting dragged into the house. And he's kind of a crazy person. I mean, it was a lot of fun. And Preston Flagg, who played the character of Garrison, just brought a hysterical, presence to it that, yeah, by the end of the shoot, we were all jumping in the pool to celebrate.
I would have too. So, since there are, like I said, several focal points, several segments colliding and crossing paths, what is the interconnecting or the underlying theme of the get together that you want the audiences to take away from it?
That's a really good question. I think this movie tries to encapsulate, someone's 20s. So each of the stories kind of takes place, the first chapter is about a girl moving to a new town for the first time. And we can definitely relate to that in the early 20s. And in the mid 20s, there's this couple that's dating for a while, and, Damien, the guy, is thinking about proposing to his girlfriend while she's trying to figure out her career and whether she wants to live in Austin or in New York. And, we can kind of relate. Austin's a very transient town to where people are kind of coming in and out all the time. And we wanted to feel that, of what it's like to leave and come back and see the same friends doing the same thing. And the third chapter is really about someone who's like, it just entered their 30s, looking back on their 20s and thinking like, did I make the right decision? Should I have gone after that girl, or should I have gone after the career? And, there's a lot in this movie to think about. And I think everyone's going to come experience it and take something different away. So, more than a central theme, we really wanted to just give people an experience and really kind of crank up the nostalgia and have them think about maybe their own decisions in their 20s and see that there's people just like them that, we're going through the same stuff.
In other words, life is complicated, most definitely.
For sure. For sure.
Finally, what are you working on next? What are you developing next?
Yeah, developing a couple things. I've got a TV show concept in the works
Cool.
about a record store in Austin, and I've got another romantic comedy feature that I'm working on that should be a lot of fun. It's in development. We're breaking that one right now, and so yeah, still staying in sort of the late coming of age comedy space, and really enjoying it.
Oh man, I love Austin. I always go there for South by Southwest. So hopefully, when this pandemic blows over, we can party again over there.
Yeah,
Most
come
definitely.
back, man. We'll have a beer.
Yes. And for my fans at home, everybody go check out The Get Together, arriving on demand May 14th. Will, thank you for talking to me and congratulations.
Thank you so much.